Mاجد and Magic Wand. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Mاجد. And one day this boy was annoyed by his father's mistreatment of him at home, which prompted him to flee to search for his luck in the vast world of God. And he ran and continued running until he stopped breathing. And then he ran until he bumped into a small old woman who was collecting firewood. He could not apologize to her for he was out of breath. But the woman was of a generous nature, and said to him, "You seem to be a good boy, so I will ask you to be my servant, and I will pay you well." Mاجد accepted because he was very hungry, and she took him to her home in the woods. There he served her for 12 months and 1 day. After the year, she summoned him and told him that she would give him a good wage. And then she presented him with a donkey from outside the stable. And he had only to bowl the donkey's ears to make him start braying immediately. And when the donkey brayed, gold and silver coins came out of his mouth. And Mاجد was very happy with the reward he received. After that, Mاجد traveled far on his donkey until he reached a small hotel, where he entered and asked for delicious food. But the owner of the hotel refused to serve him before paying him the price in advance. So Mاجد went to the stable and pulled the donkey's ears and filled his pocket with money. At that moment, the owner of the hotel was watching him through a hole in the door. And when night came, the owner of the hotel replaced Mاجد's precious donkey with an ordinary donkey. And on the morning of the second day, Mاجد left without knowing the change that had taken place, heading to his father's house. And he used to live next to his father's house, a poor widow with her only daughter, who was Mاجد's friend and lover. When Mاجد returned, he asked his father to marry the girl. But his father refused, saying, "You cannot have enough money to take care of her." Mاجد said, "I have that, father." He went at once to the donkey and pulled his long ears. And he kept pulling and pulling until one of them broke off. But the donkey didn't bring out any money despite his constant braying. Then the father grabbed a stick and beat his son until he ran out of the house. And Mاجد kept running and running until he hit a door and it opened. And it was a carpenter's place. The carpenter said to him, "You seem to be a good boy. Serve me for 12 months and a day, and I will give you a good wage." Mاجد accepted and served the carpenter for a year and a day. And the carpenter said to him, "Now I will give you your wages." So he offered him a table and said to him, "All you have to do is say, 'Be full,' and immediately you will find it filled with plenty of food and drink." Then Mاجد tied the table tightly to his back and took it away with him until he reached the same small hotel. And there he put her down from his back. and asked the owner of the hotel for the best food to eat for dinner. The owner of the hotel apologized and told him, "We only have eggs and bread." Maجid marveled, saying, "I do not want eggs for bread, because I have something better than that." Maجid ordered the table to the filled. It filled up at once with kebabs, grilled chicken, salads, drinks and desserts. The owner of the hotel was amazed at what he saw. And he did not comment on that, not even a single word. But that night, he replaced Majid's magic table with an ordinary table that looked a lot like it. And the next morning, Maجid carried the regular table on his back and took it home. And there he said to his father, "Now, father, may I marry my beloved?" His father replied, "No, until you have enough money to take care of her." Maجid exclaimed, "Look here, father. I have a magic table that fulfills all my requests." He said to him, "Let me see her." So Maجid put the table in the middle of the room and ordered it to be filled. But to no avail, as the table remained empty. Maجid's father got very angry and grabbed a hot frying pan and placed it on Maجid's back. So he screamed in pain and ran away from the house. And he kept running and running until he reached a river and jumped into it. And there a man saw him and brought him out of the river. The man asked Maجid to help him build a bridge over the river by placing a tree across the river. So Maجid agreed and climbed to the top of the tree under which the man was digging. And Maجid put all his weight on it. And then the tree bent. And Maجid landed with the top of the tree on other bank of the river. After the man to Maجid, "Thank you. Now I will reward you for your favor." The man cut a branch from the tree and shaped it into a stick with a knife. Then he said to Maجid, "Take this stick, because when you say to her, 'Get up and beat him,' she will strike everyone who makes you angry." Maجid was very happy when he got that stick, because he realized that the owner of the hotel had deceived him twice. Then Maجid took the stick and went to the hotel. And as soon as he saw the owner of the hotel, Maجid ordered the stick to get up and hit him. And immediately the stick slipped out of his hand and started hitting the man on his back, head, arms, and ribs until he fell on the ground groaning in pain. The stick kept hitting him even though he fell to the ground. And Maجid did not tell it to stop until he got back his stolen donkey and magic table. And after that he rode his donkey in haste to his house, and the table on his shoulders, and the stick in his hand. And when he arrived there he found that his father was dead. So Maجid put the donkey in the stable and pulled his ears until he filled the place with money. And then all the people of the city knew that Maجid and returned with a huge fortune. And that is why he became the focus of attention of all the girls in the city. Mاجد announced that he would marry the richest girl in the city. So he asked the girl to come the next day. And they stand in front of his house with their money in their pockets. And the next morning, the street was full of girls with their pockets full of gold and silver. However, Majid's friend, who was with the girls, had nothing but 2 dirhams. And Mاجد said to her rudely, "Stand aside, girl." And he said, "Everyone who does not have any gold or silver, stand aside." So the girl responded to Majid's command. And tears were running down her cheeks. So Mاجد filled his girlfriend's pockets with diamonds. And he ordered the stick to hit the rest of the girls. And then the stick started chasing them on their heads. So they lost consciousness. So Mاجد took all their money and gave them to his beloved, and exclaimed, "Now girl, you made them rich. So I will marry you."